It's an issue that we've been exploring all hour. The Supreme Court today came down with a mixed decision on Arizona's immigration law. The justices allowed for the provision that officers can ask about immigration status if they believe the person may be in the U.S. illegally, but they struck down provisions requiring immigrants to carry registration and the one that makes it a crime to seek or hold a job, and a provision that allows officers to arrest suspected illegal immigrants without warrants.
But that is not the most impactful decision before the High Court. They still must decide on the constitutionality of President Obama's historic health care overhaul. And 24 Hour News 8 political reporter Rick Alvin joining us now with some analysis on this. And Rick, we're all anxious to see what this decision is going to be because we just don't know what the fallout will be from that decision.
Yeah, and it's going to be difficult to gauge because it's going to be a 5-4 decision, or it is likely to be a 5-4 decision when it comes down. And there are 2 or 3 ways it can go. It could be a 5-4 decision that simply says the health care law is constitutional, it can be upheld and move forward. It could potentially have a larger implication of a 5-4 decision that says large parts of the law are unconstitutional, effectively scrapping it. But the more likely scenario that many people talk about is that individual mandate. That's the real cornerstone of this. If the Supreme Court finds that the individual mandate is unconstitutional, it will call into effect all of the other provisions of the law. If you don't have the individual mandate, you can't keep people in these pools. If you can't keep people in the pools, you don't have enough money coming in. So if you don't have healthy people, younger people in the pool that are funding for the rest of the pool for people who are older and maybe not as healthy, then it becomes very hard to sustain. It becomes very, very expensive. So the real question is, what, if any, parts will the court find unconstitutional? And then when they do, we'll start being able to assess what this may mean for the broader health care law.
Well, who stands to be hurt or helped, I guess, politically speaking?
I think you're going to hear a lot of analysis about this, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but no matter which way this goes, I think both sides are going to use this for a rallying cry. Let's just say, for example, that the court says, you know what, we're going to let this stand. All of a sudden you'll hear the Republicans say, look, we didn't want this in the first place. Governor Romney has already vowed to do away with what they call Obamacare, and that becomes one more reason they will say to vote for them. Democrats would say, look, we got this through, it's now been upheld. If you elect Republicans to the House and Senate or the White House, they may undo it. On the other hand, if it is declared unconstitutional, or at least part of it, Democrats will say, look, we've got to go back and rewrite this thing to get it right with the court, but you can't do that with a Republican House and Republican Senate and Republican President. So that will be their rallying cry, and Republicans will say, look, we got this far, we want to undo this thing. So I think no matter what happens, both sides are going to use this as leverage moving into November. Now, which side is successful with that, there's no way of telling because we don't know what that decision is going to be. It'll be interesting to see on Thursday.
Yep. Yeah. Thursday's the day.
You bet.
Thank you, Rick.
You bet.
Rick, thanks.